You ever have one of those moments where you just know your life's about to get flipped upside down, and all you can do is watch it happen in slow motion? Yeah, that was me, standing barefoot on cold towel half wrapped around my waist, hearing a scream from my own backyard. The kind of scream that makes your skin prickle. I sprinted out the door, thinking someone was hurt, only to find Karen, the self-crowned queen of the HOA, flailing around in my pool like it was the set of a bad daytime soap. And if you're wondering how in the world we ended up here, trust me, so was I. Let me back up a sec. See, I'm the new guy in this neighborhood, and I made a rookie mistake. Karen, polite smile, always holding court at every meeting, asked if she could use my pool for her son's birthday. She played it up, said the only thing the kid wanted was a swim party, and her place was too small. I was naive, wanted to make a good impression, so I handed over my spare key, just for that day, just for the party, I told her. She promised to be careful, not mess with anything, keep it low-key. In hindsight, I might as well have handed her my credit card and said, "Take what you want." I got back that night half expecting chaos, wet footprints, a dozen shrieking kids, maybe the faint smell of birthday cake. Instead, my yard was pristine. No party hats, no evidence of life, just eerie silence. At first, I thought maybe plans changed, but the vibe felt off. So, I checked the security cam. That's when I saw her. No kid, no guests, just Karen. Stretched out in my pool chair, sunglasses on, feet in the water, sipping white wine like she was starring in a vacation ad. I swear, she did a little dance for the camera, not a care in the world. Now, you'd think I'd call her out right there, but no. Rookie mistake number 2. I let it slide, figured maybe she forgot to bring the kid, or something came up last minute. Get the key back and move on, I told myself. Only she didn't bring back the key. Not the next day, or the next week. So I went to her house, figuring we'd clear it up. She opens the door, mug in hand, and leans against the frame like a movie villain, totally unbothered. "Oh, the key," she says, like she's misplaced a cheap pen. I think I lost it at the party. There's this little smile tugging at her lips, a glint in her eyes. You know what I mean? That was the moment my gut started warning me, but I swallowed it down and left, still trying to play it cool. But I couldn't shake the feeling I was being played. A few days later, I checked the cams again. There she was, waltzing into my backyard, in broad daylight, letting herself into my pool with my key. Sunglasses, big floppy hat. Lounging on my favorite float, drink in hand. No party, no kid, just pure entitlement. My fists clenched just watching her. I called her up, tried to keep my voice steady. "I know you have my key. I've got you on camera." She laughed. Not nervous, not apologetic, just cold and amused. "Maybe your camera is broken," she said, like I was some idiot who'd made it all up. So fine. If she wanted a battle, she'd get one. I started documenting everything. Dates, times, every blurry screenshot of her trespassing, every call, every message. Then, as if this couldn't get more out of hand, I come home to find wet footprints inside my house. Not just my yard, inside. That's when I realized we were way past friendly neighbor territory. I tried to keep my cool. Put up bright red no trespassing signs everywhere, bold enough you could read them from space. Booked a locksmith, but the guy couldn't come until the following week. So I was stuck, every night wondering if Karen was throwing a secret party in my living room while I was gone. I decided to catch her in the act. Saturday, I parked my car around the corner, lights off, and camped out in my own living room like I was part of some low-budget spy movie. Not even an hour went by before I heard it, the telltale jingle of keys at my back gate. She strolled in, humming, purse swinging, kicked off her shoes and dove right into my pool like she owned the place. I watched, phone ready, heart pounding, then called the cops. "She's trespassing right now. I've got the proof." But then, things went sideways. Before the cops could get there, I heard her scream, a real scream, not the fake one. I thought she was putting on an act, but then I heard splashing, gasping, her voice all panicked. She'd slipped, hit her head on the side, and now she was flailing, half drowning. I dropped my phone, rushed out, and jumped in. She clawed at me, tried to drag me down with her, but I yanked her up and shoved her to the pool's edge. She coughed, mascara running, hair stuck to her cheeks. And that's when the cops showed up, red and blue lights spinning like a scene out of Law and Order. Here's where you'd think It all got resolved. But nah, this is Karen we're talking about. She shot up, pointed at me, and screamed. He tried to kill me. He pushed me in. He tried to drown me. I mean, full meltdown. Voice echoing across fences. For a second, I saw the doubt flicker in the cop's eyes. I could hear neighbors whispering through the fence, the whole street watching. But I kept my head. Officers, I said, voice shaking. You need to see this. I pulled up my camera feed and started scrolling. Showed them her unlocking my gate with the lost key, footage of her floating in my pool all week. Time-stamped and clear as day. Today's clip, her letting herself in. No confrontation, no struggle, just pure trespassing. Her jaw actually dropped. The officers' faces changed in an instant. When they turned to her, she stammered, tried to say I'd given her permission forever, but the evidence was undeniable. That's when I pressed charges: trespassing, unauthorized entry, false report. They cuffed her right there, marched her to the squad car, hair wet, face streaked, HOA badge hanging limp. The neighbors lined the sidewalks, mouths open. The queen had fallen, dethroned in full view. The court didn't waste time either. 12 months jail, 10 grand in damages, and legal fees. Karen's little empire crumbled faster than you could say neighborhood watch. And my pool? Mine again. Peaceful, quiet, exactly how I like it. But you know what? Some folks said I went too far. Others said I should have done it sooner. So let me ask you, where do you draw the line between standing up for yourself and turning into the villain in someone else's story? You ever had to take justice into your own hands? Or should I have just let it slide and changed the locks? Drop your thoughts. Below, whose side are you on? Is justice really served, or did I go too far? I want to hear your stories. Hit that like, share with a friend, and don't forget to let me know, what would you have done if Karen was your neighbor? So you'd think, after Karen got hauled away, dripping wet, still shouting about injustice and conspiracy, that things would finally quiet down around here. And for about a week, they did. I slept with both eyes closed for the first time in months. Even did a little victory lap around my backyard. Just me and a cold beer, celebrating my reclaimed peace. But here's the thing nobody warns you about after you stand up to a neighborhood tyrant. The ripples keep spreading long after the splash. Let me tell you, it was less than 10 days before the phone call started. First, from a blocked number, hang-ups, heavy breathing, nothing but silence. Then, weird letters showed up in my mailbox, no return address, typed out like ransom notes. Some things are better left alone, one of them read. Another, you made a mistake. Watch your back. For a second, I honestly thought it was Karen, sending threats from county jail, plotting her HOA comeback. I even laughed about it, thinking, yeah, she's got nothing but time in there. But as the days rolled by, I started noticing strange cars idling near my driveway. Faces I didn't recognize at the neighborhood watch meetings, little comments from other residents. Funny how you brought all this drama to our quiet street, someone muttered at the mailbox one morning, not quite under their breath. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just Karen anymore. I'd stepped right into a hornet's nest. Turns out, Karen wasn't just the president of the HOA, she was the queen bee of a whole swarm. Her inner circle, the wine night moms, the pickleball crew, even a couple of crusty old-timers who'd lived here since the subdivision broke ground, suddenly closed ranks. I started getting the cold shoulder everywhere. Folks turned their backs at the grocery store, invitations to block parties got lost. And some kid even egged my fence one night, spelling out traitor in sticky yellow yolk. Real subtle, guys. You know what's wild? There's this one neighbor, Mrs. Lockwood, sweet old lady, waters her petunias at 6 a.m. sharp. Always gave out king-size candy bars at Halloween. She cornered me one evening as I was hauling trash to the curb. You think you did the right thing, but you just made enemies you can't see, she said, eyes kind but heavy. Karen wasn't perfect, but she kept the wolves at bay. Now, you'd better be careful who you trust. That gave me pause. Was I the bad guy here? Did I just upset the balance? Or was this neighborhood always just one spark away from burning down? Things kept ratcheting up. Someone called in a bogus noise complaint on me, said I was blasting music at 2 in the morning, even though I was dead asleep with my phone in Do Not Disturb. Next week, I found a for sale sign planted on my lawn, with my own address scrawled across it in black marker. Nice touch. Huh. HOA sent me a warning about my overgrown grass, which, for the record, I'd mowed that very morning. It was like living in a movie where the villain goes to jail, but the sequel's already in production and you're the target this time. I tried to laugh it off, keep my head down, not give them the satisfaction. But it gets to you. The paranoia, the whispers, the feeling that no matter what you do, someone's watching, waiting for you to mess up. Even my friends started acting weird, didn't want to come over, said they had stuff to do, or they were busy with the kids. I'll admit, I started second-guessing everything. Was I actually in the wrong? Was I becoming the villain in their story, or was I just the first person to finally say enough? Then, here's where the twist comes in. About a month after Karen went to jail, I got a knock at my door, late at night. I opened it, and standing there was someone I never expected, Greg, Karen's husband. Now this guy's a mystery, always kept to himself, never showed at HOA meetings, didn't even wave from his driveway. He looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. He handed me a small envelope and said, "You should read this." And you didn't get it from me. Then he walked off, didn't wait for an answer, just disappeared into the darkness. Inside was a letter, handwritten, definitely Karen's scrawl, dated 2 weeks before the whole pool fiasco blew up. In it, she apologized, said she'd been under a ton of pressure, that she'd lost herself, trying to control the neighborhood, felt isolated, judged, like nobody respected her or saw her as anything but the HOA queen. She admitted she'd used my pool to escape, to pretend she was somewhere better, someone happier. She even wrote, "You didn't deserve what happened. I'm sorry. I hope you find peace here, even if I couldn't." I just sat there for a long time, letter shaking in my hands. Talk about a plot twist. Suddenly, the whole battle felt different, less black and white, more complicated, like maybe all of us were just trying to find a little control in a world that never really lets you have any. I felt angry, sad, a little guilty, but mostly just tired. Yeah, Karen crossed the line. Yeah, I stood up for myself. But in the end, nobody really won. The pool was quiet, but so was everything else. So, here's where I leave it. No neat ending, just the truth. Sometimes justice is messy. Sometimes the villain is just the person who lost their way. And sometimes the hero still ends up alone at the end of the movie. The neighborhood never quite went back to normal. I stayed. I learned to keep my boundaries clear. I even forgave Karen in my own way. But the next time someone asks for my keys, yeah, not a chance. Now, I'm tossing this story to you. Was I right to take it all the way, or should I have handled things differently? Where do you draw the line between forgiveness and letting someone walk all over you? Tell me your wildest neighbor story, or just let me know if you think there is such a thing as real justice in a place where everybody's got secrets. Hit that like, drop a comment, and, hey, share this if you've ever gone toe-to-toe with a neighborhood legend. I'll be here, watching the ripples.